This is a huge scourge. This is a huge epidemic, and we've done a lot since I've been governor to push back on it. First of all, my first year as governor, we created a statewide task force on opioid abuse, and that is being spearheaded by the Attorney General, but they have over the years provided us with policy recommendations that we've been able to implement. For example, these mobile response teams that we have to respond to opioid overdoses came out of that task force, and we've been implementing that. We're actually going to be doing more in the ensuing months and years. We also established the Coordinated Opioid Recovery Network, the CORE network. So this is the first time we've had a statewide comprehensive solution. This is in 2022. We started with, I think, 12 counties, focusing on a lot of the counties that had really significant impacts from this. And what we were trying to do is, because you had a revolving door, someone would go, they'd have an overdose, they'd go to the hospital, they get revived, and then they just get discharged, and it was going to happen again. And it's just a vicious cycle. So the CORE network really aims to stop that revolving door of addiction and overdose by providing individuals with the tools and resources to choose an alternative path forward to sustainable recovery. I'm going to have part of the announcement is going to be talking about how we're expanding this, and I'll talk a little bit more about the success that we've had with it, which is really important when we get to there. We've also, since I've been governor, increased penalties against drug dealers and those seeking to distribute dangerous substances like fentanyl as well as methamphetamine. And so these have really strong sentencing guidelines, mandatory sentences that are stiff. And we think that that's appropriate because when you're putting fentanyl in our communities, you are killing people, and you need to be treated like the murderer that you are. So we're doing that in the state of Florida, and especially when you market this to kids by putting it in candy and things like that, we have even better penalties to be able to throw at you. So it's been an effort really across the board to push back on that. Now we're here today because we want to be able to do even more. So the first bill we're going to sign is Senate Bill 718, which says, and you have these situations. So with fentanyl, I think a lot of people know this, but I think some people are still surprised. You don't even really have to ingest it to potentially have, knowingly take something. I mean, if you get in contact with residue, if there's other stuff, I mean, it is very, very dangerous. We actually had a case in Florida. Unfortunately, a family was renting an Airbnb unit, and you had a young baby that was crawling on the carpet, and there had been residue left over from, I guess, whoever was using it before. It was fentanyl residue, and it killed the baby just from being in contact on a carpet. So this is nasty stuff, and you have situations where when law enforcement personnel are responding to these situations that fentanyl may be involved in, they really are putting themselves at risk, because it's not like they have to start popping pills to be affected by this. So this bill 718 provides that any adult who through unlawful possession of dangerous fentanyl or analogs exposes any first responder to that fentanyl that results in overdose or serious bodily injury, that we're going to prosecute you as a second-degree felon for doing that. And so if an officer says, do you have drugs in your possession, and you lie, and then the officer ends up getting exposed and harms, we're going to throw the book at you, and we're going to hold you accountable. We want to make sure that the people that wear the uniform are protected, and so this is an important step to be able to do that. I'm also signing Senate Bill 66, which designates June 6th as Revive Awareness Day. It is called Victoria's Law, and it encourages the Florida Department of Health to hold events to raise awareness of the dangers of opioid overdose and the safe use of opioid counteractants. And you'll hear from Jackie Siegel about that, which we think is very, very important. And that's the thing. I think it's just it's part of this is education, knowing that this is very, very perilous stuff to be involved with in any kind. And even if you're not knowingly seeking out a fentanyl product, you may be seeking out another product that has that in there unwittingly, and that can be devastating.